Here we have the current stock market update for NVIDIA Corporation, stock ticker NVDA. Before we begin with today's chart analysis, if you find these educational materials to be helpful in your trading, please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons and leave your thoughts below in the comments section so that other traders can find this information more easily on the platform. So here we have the daily price chart. We're going to take a step back here a bit now that we really have seen a true break of that prior potential head and shoulders pattern that we were watching for this stock. We have now seen an upside break that's sufficient, in my view, to kind of warrant its exclusion at this point. So we can start to look ahead beyond that. At the moment, what we're seeing is a share price movement that has rallied to highs coming in at 127.67, and what we can see here at this point is the development of a symmetrical triangle pattern that is starting to give some conflicting signals. Until today, that is, I should say that, because today what we have now seen with this most recent price movement, and what we're looking at here is the daily chart. Each candle on this chart represents a one full day trading period. But as we can see here, in the early parts of this trading session, we're still in the very early parts of this in the first half of this trading session. And as we can see here, we are now starting to grind through the top of that symmetrical triangle formation. So previously, there were some conflicting views here. We were seeing a series of lower highs that were developing. And if we did see a sort of a rollover here based on this prior potential head and shoulders pattern that we were looking for, that major downtrend line would have remained in place. But now that we have broken through that right shoulder of the head and shoulders pattern, we are now moving into this upward trend line here, this downward sloping trend line. And today it's now breaking. So the way that things currently stand, as I said, we're still in the very early parts of the trading session here. So we really don't know how things are going to close for the trading day today. But if we do see prices close above this trend line, that would be the best possible signal. As things currently stand, we could start to see some downward price movement here, after reaching that 127.67 high. And that would sort of be the worst case scenario at the moment if we do not see a close above this trend line. From a longer term perspective, that's really what you want to see if you're long on this stock currently, because we have now seen clear breaks above that prior 120.80 level roughly. So we are creating some higher highs here on the shorter term time frame. And, the shorter term structure here, I'll sort of zoom in on this. The shorter term structure is now starting to break through that longer term structure with that declining trend line. So, as we can see here, we've got a bit of an ascending channel pattern that's starting to form here. And this is mostly significant because what we're now starting to see is a breakthrough that prior downtrend line. So this is significant here, but we're not completely out of the woods just yet. What we really want to see ideally here is a daily close right above. This would come in roughly, we would really want to see something above roughly 123 should be sufficient to close above that trend line. So there are some fairly significant, developments that are occurring here, because the next upside target that we're currently watching does come in at this prior price high at 131.26, which is significant for its own set of reasons. This is the August 26 high, and this is mainly important because this area marks the 78.6% Fibonacci retracement of this declining move from the all-time highs at 140.76. So this is a very significant price movement here. I mean, what we're really looking at is the decline from those all-time highs to those near-term highs coming in at 90.69. So this is a very major trend wave here that we're starting to break through. And if you do see a break through the 786 retracement, then the most likely scenario then becomes a full retracement of that entire trending move. So in other words, if we can break through this 121.26 area, the next expectation is that share prices recover all of those prior losses within the move within the move into 90.69, I should say. The upward price movement here would then be expected to retrace that full move. So essentially, we would be looking at something like this. So this is a very significant development here. We're on the verge of some very significant breaks here for this stock. This removal of this longer term downtrend line is very important because that was generating a lot of the negative momentum that we were seeing in the indicator readings. And as you can see here, those readings are already starting to break down on the relative strength index. If we sort of look at this price action here, this recent development here has allowed the relative strength index to end that prior negative condition, that bearish momentum condition that we have been seeing here since the all-time highs. If we look on this indicator reading, this prior movement here, this prior high in the relative strength index is the all-time high for share prices. So this is the major momentum that is sort of governing that trend line here. And as we can see, the relative strength index itself did give us a signal that this trend line break in share prices was going to happen before share prices moved in that direction on their own. So as we can see here, the break here in the relative strength index is already much larger than the movement above the downward sloping trend line in share prices themselves. So this is a very good example here of how the relative strength index can really give us clues about what is likely to happen ultimately with share prices. In many ways, it is a leading indicator. A lot of people don't view it that way. A lot of people argue that it's not a leading indicator, but there are several different types of conditions that do lead share prices, and this would be one example of that type of occurrence. So, as we can see here, this downtrend in momentum did start to break, and then the result here was a very strong upsurge in share prices from that $100.95 level, and now we're breaking through this longer term downtrend line in the share prices themselves. So, overall, there's a lot going on here. And we are on the verge of developing certain price structures that are bullish in nature. Um, Longer term, obviously, it's a very bullish stock, but more recently, the near term price movements have started to develop some very significant bearish characteristics. What we're seeing in these most recent price movements would be a removal of many of those characteristics. So overall, in the momentum reading at the moment, now that we have broken through the top side of this, negative condition in the relative strength index. Really, the main area to watch here is this newly developing positive trend. Because if we are able to gain some momentum here to the top side, we could be in for a retest of those all-time highs relatively quickly. So here's the current stock market update for NVIDIA Corporation, stock ticker NVDA. Our high value trading strategies membership is currently available for a limited time for only $9.99 per month. These high conviction investment strategies are characterized by superior risk to reward metrics that target massive market beating returns over time. Join now to outperform the market. Lock in this special introductory rate of just $9.99 per month for the entire lifetime of your membership and start trading stocks with the pros.